And only 4 minutes late. We're better than the Linus Tech Tips and the WAN show. How you like that?
Oh yeah. How late do
Yes.
they get in there at?
They're at least like 7 minutes late. Anyway, welcome everybody to the CrushCast. I, of course, am AphroditesCrush, and today co-host is...
I'm Ian.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Yep.
I passed up watching Battleground, WWE Battleground, to be here with you people tonight. How about that? How do you like that? Dedication. Freaking-cation.
What's Battlegrounds?
WWE pay-per-view Battleground, the SmackDown brand pay-per-view that they have this month. It is tonight. And I missed it to be here with you all.
Well, I'm sure everyone appreciates that, man.
Woohoo! Alrighty, so let's get down to business because there's a lot to go over today and not a lot of time. So, I have labeled this week's edition, the ComicCon edition, for one simple reason. There's a crap ton of Comic-Con news to sift through, to get around. I went searching for some different things to kind of liven up the show today as far as Comic-Con goes, and this right here is the best I can come up with. You ready for this?
Sure.
All right, so sorry, DC fanboys. With Marvel involved, I'm going to lead off with Marvel. However, I'm not leaving you out. The big news from this weekend was the Comic-Con only teaser for Avengers Infinity War. Now, this wasn't supposed to get out of Hall H, or whatever hall they're in for the panel, but pretty much the entire teaser got leaked to the internet just last night. Did you get
really?
a chance to see it? Oh no, you didn't get a chance to see it?
No, I thought there was only like a couple of people that only got to like take pictures, and they were even trying to shut those people down. Just the pictures of the teaser.
Someone snuck their cell phone and took video of the entire thing. It's horrible quality, and Disney's trying to scrub it from the internet. But essentially, it's out there now. They might as well just go ahead and release it. But
What? I wonder why movies are like they're so apprehensive about people, like seeing like teasers and knowing what it's about ahead of time, because it's like where they like, oh yeah, we want this to be a surprise for you. We're doing this. I mean,
well, sometimes it's like alpha footage. Not all the special effects are laid in. Like the Wolverine, for instance, the version that was leaked out had almost no special effects, no CGI kicked in it or anything. So sometimes they kick in some test footage to the attendees, be like, hey, here's some extra couple minutes of footage from the set. It's not finished, but this is what you can expect from the movie coming out later on this year. Or next year, blah, blah, blah. And normally Marvel is really cool about it. If it gets leaked out, they just go ahead and release it. But they still haven't released it yet, weirdly enough. But they should. They really should. Hopefully by the time Comic-Con rolls around here in Ohio in a couple of weeks, it'll be out there. So,
yeah, I remember when that Wolverine movie got leaked, that like it still had a lot of unfinished special effects. You could see like the model and stuff.
Yeah.
And like some of the explosions.
But again, it's something normally Marvel or Disney, they try to head off, but it's just not. It's not possible to not do that. So, like I said, here's hoping by the time Comic-Con rolls around here, they'll have it out proper, and because it looks awesome. I'm not going to spoil anything for you. If you want to go searching for it, or anybody out there, just know that it is freaking boss. So.
Now, did you ever read the comics with the whole Infinity War thing? Do you know like what all happens?
I honestly wasn't a big Avengers guy, so I knew about certain plots, and I knew about the Infinity Gauntlet and this, that, and this, that, but like I wasn't too particularly keen on the Avengers for the most part. I kind of stayed in my lane with some of the comics I read when I was younger. Um, when I was really younger, I stayed with the main level stuff. I didn't really branch out into like oh, I gotta have this every single month. I gotta have this every single month. I was really into like the big event storylines and stuff like that. But the Infinity Gauntlet wasn't like I knew about it and I knew what was going on, but I wasn't like headstrong interested in the
Yeah. I watched this guy on YouTube called the channel is called Comics Explained, and he explains like like the storylines of that and like various other comic books, and it's just interesting because he shows the comics as he's explaining it.
So
it'll be interesting to see what their take on it though is with the movie.
yeah, especially when you have some actors that are thinking about leaving the series and whatnot. It just is going to be interesting how it works out. So
yeah, Robert's definitely dipping out. He said.
I don't know about that. I mean, he was supposed to be done like the last movie, and he still signed on for another one. I think he said that now he's just playing it by ear, and he's not long term contractually obligated anymore. He takes each individual film as it comes.
Yeah. Well, it's like the Infinity War. That's going to be like a two movie set there, so it's going to be like.
It was initially supposed to be a two-parter, but word has gotten out that they've actually cut it down to one movie, and the second movie is still going to be an Avengers movie. It's just not going to be the Infinity Gauntlet. So.
Really?
Yeah, that's the big rumor coming out. It's been confirmed and denied and confirmed and denied. So. Speaking of new movies coming out, the new proper trailer for Thor Ragnarok came out, and Hulk talked, baby.
Well, isn't this supposed to be based off of that one cartoon movie that came out a little bit ago, that Planet Hulk? Did you ever see that?
It has grounding in Planet Hulk. Especially with the Contest of Champions.
Yeah.
However, a lot of it is just it's kind of segued from what I understand into the movie, because there's never going to be another Hulk movie. They're pretty much like Universal will not let the property go. They own the rights to another Hulk movie, and after the last one, as much as what happened on the set of that movie and afterwards, Universal won't touch it. So.
Yeah, well, they're always fighting with that Sony with the rights and stuff, right?
Well, Marvel and Sony get along. I mean, that's how you got Spider-Man: Homecoming. They made some deals as far as properties and specific uses for powers in the X-Men universe, which is why you saw Negasonic Teenage Warhead in Deadpool. That was part of that deal. So. The situation between Sony and Marvel is copacetic. They're cool. Right now, there's going to be another Spider-Man movie because it did pretty well. That's pretty much has already been announced this weekend, which is part of that. But what happened with Universal's Hulk movie was a little bit more director-actor based, because the director wanted. What was his name? Edward Norton to play a specific style of Bruce Banner that did not fit what Edward Norton thought Bruce Banner was. And there was a big storm out there about it. Like, they weren't talking. Edward almost left the movie. And then when the movie came out, he was dogging it. He's like, don't go see it. And Universal's like, not doing this again. So, because also Universal doesn't have any interest in making another Hulk movie, just as a basic, because of all that, and it cut down ticket sales, and unfortunately Marvel doesn't have a lot of leverage there, so you'll probably never see another Hulk movie. Not that I'm really sad about that, because I really liked Edward Norton as Bruce Banner, and I'm not a big Mark Ruffalo guy as Banner.
You think he was just like too generic of a guy or something?
I don't think Ruffalo's too generic. It's not like he's a horrible actor or anything like that. I just think that Norton played to Banner's insecurities a little bit more, a little bit better, in my opinion. But
yeah,
that's like, who's your favorite Hulk? Lou Ferrigno. Yeah, well, there you go.
Well, he was probably a better Hulk than the original one in the first Hulk movie. So, what was that guy's name?
Lou Ferrigno.
No, not the.
We talk about
the one from like 2003 or whatever.
Oh, Eric Bana, I think his name was. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, the new Thor trailer hit is fantastic, and I'm not going to ruin anything either. Now, jumping from the big screen to the small screen, Netflix is on a freaking roll right now. So it's all going to be quick shot. First off, The Defenders, the first episode was previewed to ComicCon attendees. Daredevil's new season has been previewed. Also, Iron Fist Season 2 has been greenlit. So all of that, and also they did an itty-bitty preview of The Punisher. I don't think they had any video, but the lead actor, which I don't have his name in front of me, unfortunately, basically talked about that. So
it was. I haven't seen the trailer for the. Is the Daredevil supposed to be out soon or something then for a new season?
The Defenders. The Defenders is up next, and I think after the Defenders, I think is going to be. I think it's the Punisher is coming out next year. So Defenders is next, then the Punisher, and then if I'm not mistaken, it's either can't remember if it's Iron Fist or Daredevil new season's gonna be out after that. But I want to see another Luke Cage. I loved Luke Cage. So,
well, I would highly recommend though, Doug, that before you go and watch the Defenders, you got to watch the Daredevil and the Iron Fist and shit.
Jessica Jones, Iron Fist. So yeah, it's gonna be fun. So that's all that. And one other movie that was confirmed with the lead villains confirmed is the new Captain Marvel movie, and the Skrulls are going to be a part of the Captain Marvel movie. So
I don't know too much about that. I never was the Skrulls like villains or something.
Yeah, Skrulls are villains. If you want to get technical, in the first Avengers movie, the Chitauri, they're a version of Skrulls. For comparisons. If I'm not mistaken, that was confirmed that the Chitauri are versions of Skrulls, like an outlying sector of Skrulls. So,
yeah,
but yeah, new Captain Marvel, which she's gonna. I can't. For some reason, I have the information in front of me, but Captain Marvel's gonna be pretty boss. She's looking to kick some ass, so that's gonna be a good flick. And of course, also Squirrel Girl is going to be in something. I can't remember which one it was.
Well, that's good for Squirrel Girl, I guess. I don't know if I would be going to see that.
Hey, just remember, Squirrel Girl beat Thanos once.
Really?
Yep. Just remember that. You talk shit about Squirrel Girl, she whipped Thanos' ass once.
Well, Daredevil did, and like pretty much everybody else in the Marvel universe, I think they had like different versions or something. I don't know.
So next up, DC. Okay, so I haven't been paying a whole heck of a lot of attention to your TV series. However, of course, I think Slade's going to be in the newest. Is it Slade or somebody else? Supposed to be in the new Flash season, I believe, or the new Arrow season. I keep wanting to I want to watch the Flash because I'm interested in the Flash, but Arrow I have zero interest in. Like Arrow is just like I find the Green Arrow just be boring to me.
Not even for the Slade Wilson in there.
Yeah, it's not particularly interesting to my eyes. However, Legends of Tomorrow looks very interesting. It's one series I've like really thought about getting into, just never got a chance to because I have so many movies and TV shows on the backplate.
What about that Constantine? I was meaning to check that out.
Unfortunately, it ended after the first season, or the first season or two. So they
really?
Yeah, they got canceled, unfortunately. Which I'm like, shit, man, give me Constantine. Oh, there went monetization, but yeah, like Constantine, fantastic. Would have loved to see more seasons of Constantine. That would have been fantastic. But unfortunately,
I like the movie.
Well, the movie Constantine and the TV series Constantine are separated in canon. If you want to get technical, the Keanu Reeves movie is not in canon anymore. It's basically just a series, and I think it's Legends of Tomorrow, I think, is where he's at now. The new Justice League trailer dropped this weekend as well, which looks fantastic. A lot of good action, a lot of good pacing in the trailer, I think, too. The only thing, of course, and you'll always hear me say this every single time we talk about the Justice League, is Aquaman still sucks.
Yeah, well, supposedly there's not really going to be a Aquaman movie, so.
Oh, there's rumors that there's supposed to be an Aquaman movie, and that Aquaman movie is going to suck. Going to suck. Why? Because Aquaman sucks. There's nothing there. You could pull Tom Cruise over to this. You could put the most jacked up dude. You could put The Rock in that, and there's nothing that you could do to save Aquaman as a legit character in any universe. What's your secret power? I can talk to fishies.
Well, what's better about, or what's worse about that than like the Squirrel Girl? She talks to squirrels and gets squirrels to do.
Well, Squirrel Girl actually has a power of luck. Her thing is she has an insane amount of luck. She can like go up against 1,001 odds and be the one. Like that's one thing. Like she essentially has this uncanny ability to like take the odds and flip them. You know? Now, the one thing that Marvel doesn't do to Squirrel Girl that DC does to Aquaman is that when people start talking that Aquaman sucks, all of a sudden, well, Aquaman can beat Superman in a fight. Aquaman can do this, and Aquaman can do that. Squirrel Girl is just Squirrel Girl. They don't try to pump her up with 75 abilities to make him seem more like a badass. That's what DC does with Aquaman.
Well, what do you think about what's that guy's name? The Mariner or whatever?
Oh, the
Marvel. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like supposed to be the Aquaman version.
Yeah, not a very good idea. Yeah, just no. That you want to make Aquaman suck more? Turn him into the Submariner. But I may be a mostly Marvel guy, but Marvel makes missteps too. Let's see, the most recent Fantastic Four movie is at the top of that list. Garbage. Straight hot garbage.
Yeah, I definitely agree on that because it's like the other Fantastic Four movies were fine. I mean, they weren't great, but they were at least better than that.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of the first one. Second one I really liked simply because of how they integrated Silver Surfer up until the end with the almost arrival of Galactus.
Well, the Galactus was stupid. He was supposed to be like a giant human form, wasn't he?
Yeah.
In the comics, and then they turn him into some kind of like cloud or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
The other side of the galaxy, but so yeah. Beyond that, Justice League looks awesome. Aquaman still sucks. Now, Wonder Woman has already been renewed for a second movie, which is fantastic. The most recent movie, Gal Gadot, as much as I really don't like Gal Gadot in that role of Wonder Woman, movie was good. And that's probably one of the best, if not the best, superhero movie probably the last couple of years. Maybe it has some strong resistance from Guardians, but it's up there.
Right.
Now, to go along with the DC series, Sci-Fi just greenlit a Krypton series, so that's going to also work in with the DC extended universe, I guess is what they're calling it now. So,
did you ever get into that Supergirl show?
Yeah, wasn't really into that. There's just something about it just seemed really lame. It doesn't like Legends of Tomorrow. It has a really good look and a really good edge, it seems, to it, as some of the Supergirl just doesn't have. It's the best way to put this. It's almost as bad as Gotham.
Oh, you don't like Gotham either?
Dude, no. I don't even. If I started to go as far as I would want to go on why Gotham is trash, we'd go straight through this entire show. We'd be in hour 2 and quite possibly hour 3 of me complaining about Gotham, just on some straight basic points. Timeline issues, not just timeline issues, age issues of the characters in the timeline. Commissioners. There's too much about that series that pisses me off to me to honestly ever want to truly watch it. And to be honest with you, nobody cares about Gotham before Bruce became Batman.
Right. Well, I heard though that the guy that played the Riddler, he did like a really good job.
Yeah,
doing the Riddler.
So here's one scene that I saw. Was basically what ended up being a pseudo version or an alternate version of the Joker, and I'm just like, this is all they can come up with. This is it. This is hot garbage. This isn't even hot garbage. This is warm garbage. No.
Well, I mean, it probably isn't that good. I mean, I haven't seen it yet, but you're probably right. But I mean, like, you kind of got to give them some slack, because it's like, it's hard to have one of your TV franchise compete with your movie franchise, It's like, how do you like separate from that and make something really good? I mean, like you said, they did pretty good with the Legends of Tomorrow, but they were all different characters that really don't have their own movies, Yeah.
But again, it's all about chemistry and how the storyline works out. And there's just like, I'm interested in what happens with Legends of Tomorrow, and I haven't even seen an episode. I've seen some scenes from Gotham, and each time I see a scene from Gotham, I'm like, why are they still spending money on this trash? And Fox has canceled better. It's
it's just that, I mean, I don't want to start any flame wars or anything, but it's like, I don't know, DC's characters are just like, they kind of just like get old after a while, don't they?
Well, DC bases a lot of their characters in reality, and I understand why they do. It's just that when you base everything in reality, and then you try to factor in the superhumans or this, that, whatever, it always seems to just counteract it. When you finally get to something that is superhuman, like, a lot of it seems too hokey or too corny, especially in the TV series. The movies, not so much. Like, for instance, Suicide Squad was fan-freaking-tastic. That's one of my favorite movies of last year. It's just that when you put Suicide Squad up against something like Batman vs. Superman, Suicide Squad is so much the better movie because it's not particularly rooted in this kind of deep reality. And you're forced to as good as Man of Steel was, it's really based in reality until like certain aspects that kind of draw you out of that. It kind of lulls you out of kind of the dream state of the normal Clark Kent.
Right. I mean, yeah, definitely. Like the characters in the Suicide Squad were definitely different and unique. It's just like you get tired of the same old boring Batman and Superman, you know?
Well, I think the entire premise for Batman versus Superman was ridiculous to begin with. You know, Batman versus Superman should have been a second Superman movie. That's what it should have been. Just straight up, boom, Superman 2, and actually have a decent fucking Lex Luthor.
Right.
But we didn't get that, so it is what it is.
I just think Marvel is nice because they have all these diverse characters that are more colorful, whereas like DC is a bit more like depressing and like dark and gritty, I guess sometimes.
Well, neither comic producer gives anyone a happy ending. It's just not going to happen. The way DC puts it out there is that the situation is always bleak, it's always grim. Someone has to die, and die horribly for there to be a resolution. Marvel, when someone dies, it has this kind of punch of effect to it. Like the when you're reading a Marvel comic versus a DC comic, you can tell that tone is so much different than each other that it messes with your ability to enjoy it. And only in certain aspects can I read a DC comic and really get a good sense of enjoyment out of reading it. Like, for instance, I own Batman the Killing Joke. That is a very satisfying graphic novel just based off of how the plot forms and how it rolls out. Whereas I can read Gwenpool and get just as much enjoyment out of it just off of the ridiculousness of the premise. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
And even in stuff like Civil War that's supposed to be a lot more serious, you still get that kind of a light look to it as well. It kind of adds to it. The Batman comics and some Superman comics are really drawn kind of in these darker shades, and I always find that if I'm reading a Marvel comic, it almost seems like they draw in color in lighter shades to kind of give this kind of jump off the page type of look to it. So,
yeah. Now, was there
translates to the movies as well? So,
right. Now, besides Marvel and DC, was there anything like any other updates or anything with like Spawn or anything else?
Actually, Spawn is on the docket. Spawn movie officially announced. Todd McFarlane is directing. I'll go ahead and pop the link here. And pretty much everything I'm getting is from IGN, so you can search it as well.
Okay. Well, by the way, you should probably put these links too in your description because I just did that for the show last night.
Oh, I got an advert on my screen for Ghost in the Shell this coming Tuesday. Yes. By the way, that movie is fantastic. Ghost in the Shell is great. It's fantastic.
Now, is it done better than Blade Runner?
I haven't seen the Blade Runner. I don't think it's out yet.
Well, no, I mean, like, did you think a classic like Blade Runner was done better, though, still?
Ghost in the Shell is a much different much different than that is.
Well, it's definitely like a different style and stuff, but it still makes you think about like robots and artificial intelligence and like who are you really? You know.
Yeah. Alrighty, so let's say ComicCon 2017 Spawn movie officially announced with Todd McFarlane to direct. Blumhouse production company is going to produce it.
Okay.
So McFarlane, the creator of Spawn, made the announcement via his Facebook page while at the San Diego Comic-Con following a panel with director Kevin Smith. So
now, why did the first movie suck?
It's hampered because I think it was New Line who ended up producing that. Do I have it next to me? No, I don't. It's not. No, yes, I do. Yes, I do. I'm pretty sure it's a New Line movie. And New Line, yeah, it's New Line Cinema.
Yeah.
So the version I have is on Blu-ray. It's a director's cut.
Okay.
The reason why there's a director's cut is because when this was initially released to theaters, New Line demanded a PG-13 rating. Which, if anybody has read Spawn, you know that is the worst thing that you could do to hamper anything for any reason pertaining to Spawn.
Well, it's like making a PG Deadpool movie, right?
Exactly. And that's one of the reasons why they decided to go with a rated R Deadpool movie, because they took a look back. Spawn has been immensely popular for years, and it was literally cut off at the knees by New Line when they made the movie. So, and mind you, the movie was pretty much in the can by the time they demanded a PG-13 cut. So they had to go in, they had to redub words. It was really horrible. The CGI effects in the movie were already subpar to begin with for the most part. So, you're cut off at the knees. You're taking these body blows just to be able to essentially fucking wring your own neck. Sorry again. Welcome to explicit, no monetization here. Sorry, YouTube. But yeah, you're basically wringing your own neck. You're punching yourself in the stomach, punching yourself in the face, knocking yourself out to get a PG-13 rating that would literally skimmed by its teeth, and then it bombed because it was just torn apart. And that's why the Blu-ray version, the director's cut, is so much better and so much more well-received than the PG-13 trash version that was released in theaters.
Now, was the director's cut, was that like how movies are digitally enhanced and stuff? Did they do anything with the graphics and stuff too?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
So, however, the new movie is not going to be a continuation of the 1997 film, but instead be a fresh take that has a dark, R-rated, scary, badass sort of script. So, and of course, nobody can ever forget the awesome HBO animated series. So,
yeah. Now, what would you think, since it's slightly related? Would you like to see a Venom or symbiote like saga type of movie? Because McFarlane, he helped with the design of Venom and stuff. They're quite similar.
Yeah, there is going to be a Venom movie, and I believe Carnage is supposed to be the villain.
Okay. Yeah, that would be sweet, man.
It is going to happen. This was actually announced a couple weeks ago, so it's going to happen. It's going to be pretty freaking awesome as well. So,
also, didn't you say Kate Beckinsale is going to be like doing like autographs or something?
Yeah. So if you're going to be at the Columbus Comic-Con, the Wizard World Comic-Con in Columbus, Ohio, the weekend of the 4th, 5th, and the 6th. You'll be able to, for a nominal fee, get either a photo op or an autograph or both. Oh, sorry. Blah, 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 blah. Nope. Had news bit up, and all of a sudden, a trailer starts playing for Atomic Blonde. By the way, I want to see that. It's going to be fantastic. Don't demonetize me. Oh, wait, too late. But...
you really couldn't tell what that was. It was like... Uh,
I went la 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 la. But where
yeah,
was it?
I heard that they were doing Kate Beckinsale was talking about they're supposed to be doing like an Underworld and Blade crossover type of thing. Now I'm not sure if that was just like hearsay, but I mean
I haven't heard
that
that
would be
myself.
interesting.
I'd be
You
down.
could Google search it, but I mean
Be a
it.
real good kickback to like an R-rated style again. I mean, it's pretty cool. I can dig it.
Yeah, I mean I like the Underworld movies. It's just like they kind of go the route that the uh what's the lady's name from Resident Evil did, where she's like getting all these different powers and she's like something different all the time.
Ah, I haven't seen the last couple of them, unfortunately. So
Yeah.
I've thought about just buying the complete set because I bought the complete Resident Evil set just to be able to watch the last one. So let's see. Next up. The next Suicide Squad movie is not going to be a Suicide Squad movie. It's going to be Gotham City Sirens.
Oh, okay.
I'll pop this one in the chat as well.
But why do you introduce it as a Suicide Squad movie then?
Oh, I have a feeling that you're probably going to see some.
Is this what the Gotham show should have been?
I don't know about that. Don't know about that. So, Suicide Squad, David Ayer, the director, said it's a story about three fantastic women who's trying to find their way in the world and realize they have more power together than they do individually. Okay. The Gotham City Sirens comic follows a trio of Harley, Catwoman, and Poison Ivy and their adventures around Gotham City. So, it could be very interesting. Apparently, Jared Leto is not confirmed to reprise the role of the Joker, even though he was fantastic. So, it's one thing.
Yeah, did you ever see that?
Huh?
Did you ever see that show from the early 2000s called Birds of Prey?
I see that so often for like $10 at Walmart, and every time I think about getting it, I think of something else to get, and I don't end up getting it.
I don't know too much about it, but I know it is DC, and they have like it's like an all woman group too on there, and it's like one of them was like the Black Canary, and the other one is I think supposed to be Harley Quinn or something. I don't know.
Well, here's the thing of Birds of Prey. I can't tell you too much about it because it directly links up to the events of the Killing Joke.
Oh, okay.
Never read the Killing Joke. I'm not going to deprive you of that awesomeness because the Killing Joke is fantastic. But it doesn't really have Harley in it. It's not specifically about Harley. It's about, like, I would call the Birds of Prey a Justice League B team, or maybe a C team. I mean that's not an insult though. I mean, it's really the truth. They have their own individual powers and things that they do. It's just they're not Superman, Wonder Woman level, and I believe they're all ladies.
Right.
And it's really nice to see another cool female-fronted series, even though I think it only lasted like 1 or 2 seasons. So,
was it decently received back then? Because wasn't that on the WB2 or something?
I think so. It's just like some people don't know how to take series like that, and you also have to be like super into the mythos to kind of get it. So,
right. Okay. Well, I have it on a list of shows to watch, so I mean, might as well check it out, I guess. Then.
I'm not going to put in a link for this, But Walking Dead is eventually going to end. Thank you, God.
Are you anti-zombies?
I'm anti-bad storytelling.
Uh,
And there you go.
What do you think is wrong with it? Because like a lot of people, that is like really popular. Or is that
People
like
are so starved for good content. Sometimes people will watch garbage and think it's porcelain. You know, I mean, when you're starved for content, you're starved for television shows. Sometimes you're going to watch Survivor, and sometimes you're going to watch trash shows like The Walking Dead. And I don't care if it starts a flame war. The Walking Dead is nothing more but a second-rate soap opera that just so happens to have zombies in it. It's literally Young and the Restless plus zombies. There is no difference. There is no difference. If someone's going to watch The Walking Dead and try to tell me that I'm a geek or a nerd for watching wrestling, I'm going to tell them it's the same thing, except yours has zombies and mine has actual live action to it. Point blank. Straight up truth, the way it is. So I will not be sad to see The Walking Dead go. I will not be sad to not hear from people, oh my goodness, the cliffhanger and the guy, he hid under the dumpster. I watched the first season of that show and I was so dead bored by the end of that season. I'm like, hopefully this only goes one season because it was so terrible. The first 2 episodes, fantastic. And then reality set in. And then when reality set in and you kind of figure out what's going on, there's no reason to watch.
what?
No reason to watch.
I thought most people were like praising like the, you know, like since the show is supposed to revolve around the characters, I thought it was supposed to be more about the characters and their storylines more than the zombies.
Meh. 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 Oh my god! But the thing is too is that there's no like progression of society. There's always like one would think even in a post-apocalyptic world you would have a progression of society, not a de-evolution of society, especially to the point of how it is portrayed. The way that it goes is basically season or 2, one big bad guy is defeated, moves on to the next one. 1 or 2 seasons of big bad guy, they're defeated, move on to the next one. Wash, rinse, repeat. There's no surprises except for the fact a couple people die, so it's Game of Thrones without anything interesting. It's literally all it is. I can watch. I'm not really the biggest fan of Game of Thrones, but you know what? I can watch an episode, just drop into an episode of Game of Thrones and be intrigued and actually be interested in what's going to happen. You drop me into a random episode of The Walking Dead, and I see maybe 10% zombies and 90% people whining to each other about how their lives are horrible because there's zombies around right now.
Yeah, I forget. Those are 2 different production companies, right? The Walking Dead and the Game of Thrones, because they had very similar, you know, like they were similarly related as far as popularity goes.
Well, it's because Game of Thrones has they've only, what's the best way to put this? Game of Thrones, as a standard, tells stories better than The Walking Dead ever will.
Is there any
lock the door?
Is there any zombie shows on TV right now that you do like? Like, I forget, is that Marvel or DC that does that iZombie show?
That I saw a couple episodes. I was completely bored.
Okay.
It's just like, man, there is like no why, no, just done, finito. Not rolling on that. but the thing is too is that we're like zombied out. There's no good stories left to be told, including zombies, because of how much it's just been played out the past like 10 years now. So it almost seems like there's like zombies is like supernatural movies right now. You can't go to the movies every year without tripping over some backdoored idiotic there's a ghost in the house movie of some face sprouting out of some dark corner in the middle of a trailer. Yeah, it's was it World War Z, and now they're making a sequel to World War Z, even though World War Z was World War crap. Come on. And now that Romero's dead, the only clear-cut, fantastic zombie director is gone. He was the man. Even his bad zombie movies were good,
Right.
And nobody has ever been able to grasp why his zombie movies were so good. Everyone tries to emulate and turn this up and turn that up and move this. They don't get what makes his directing so fantastic. Is that it's not just zombie shoot repeat, zombie shoot repeat. It's a situational zombie flick that actually has application to it and progression, and getting to know your characters and actually watching them evolve throughout a movie as it pertains to the situation they're in, instead of just knee-jerk reactions like most zombie movies have, and like the absolute like minimum effort possible to just make it work. No one's figured out how to do it right. And now, nobody probably ever will.
Yeah, but people are so starved for those zombie movies, though. That people pay to be in like zombie crowds, where you're like pretending to be chased by zombies and stuff.
Well, like that's all well and good. I mean, you cosplay these things like that, but when you're talking about like movies and television shows that just prod the same crap over and over again every single season, and it almost seems like every single week, it's just it loses all intelligence at some point. It really does. But
well, maybe the writers of those maybe they had their brains eaten by zombies, so can't write a good zombie show.
Yeah, about that.
What else you got? Any other news?
Again, Ghost in the Shell's coming out this week, which is I can't wait to own that. That was probably one of the best anime to live action adaptations that I've seen in quite a long time. Like one can only hope Akira is as good as Ghost in the Shell is. And I know there's a ton of people out there complaining that the movie is whitewashed and blah blah blah, but it's just like it's going to be like the new Death Note. If it's good, it doesn't really matter. Number one, the new Ghost in the Shell movie with Scarlett Johansson, which everyone freaked out that it wasn't a Japanese actress, was cast by a Japanese company to play the main character. And that's something that's really happening right now, and it's something that we should get into on another day, where there's a lot of like a faux outrage out there over quote unquote whitewashing for specific movies and television shows. I wasn't happy about Gods of Egypt having an all white cast. Ghost in the Shell had Japanese actors in the movie, and it just so happened that the lead character was a white Anglo-Saxon woman.
Well, she's a robot though. That's a thing. She doesn't have to be anything, you know.
And in the flashbacks in the movie, like I don't know if you've seen it yet, but flashbacks in the movie, well, okay, I won't give it away. I'll leave it at that. But a lot of faux outrage for that, because they assumed that an American company did all the casting for that, and I'm like, well, no, Japanese did that, and the same production company that produced all the Ghost in the Shell animated stuff from back in the day. So it's not like it's some new Japanese company and they're just looking for a cash in. That movie had a lot of good moving parts in it, and it was just fantastic to watch. So, like, I recommend everybody go see. Everybody go see Ghost in the Shell, whether you rent it or you buy it. Speaking of badass front women to a movie, this Friday, Atomic Blonde comes out with Charlize Theron.
Now, who is that? DC or Marvel?
Neither. Atomic Blonde is just a straight up action spy movie.
Oh, okay.
And that's going to be... I can't wait to own that. Cannot wait to own that.
No superpowers or anything like that?
Nope, just a badass chick built to kill.
See, that's what I thought about Jessica Jones. I thought she was just like a regular, like person, and like I sort of didn't seem that interesting to me. So I was like, why is Marvel doing just like a basic character? But I guess she has like super strength or something like that,
But let's see what else we got on the docket this week. There's not much else really going around besides the big ComicCon stuff. Oh, let me take a look.
But was there like a star like roster as far as like who showed up there for like signings and stuff?
That's it's really hard to say.
Was Robert Downey Jr. there?
I don't know.
I know Stan Lee was definitely there.
Yeah, Stan Lee got his footprints in the Chinese theater.
Oh, really?
Yes, footprints there, yeah. So let's
hey,
up real quick.
You love how he just like bombs off like he's just like they just stick him there somewhere in the Marvel movies all the time.
There's a roving theory about that he's one of the Watchers.
Oh, really?
Again, it's just a theory, but yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, Stan Lee did everything. Nobody else did anything. I wonder when we'll get to see the one above all in any of those movies.
Oh, no.
Because he's supposed to be pretty much like Marvel's version of God. Like he's like most powerful being that like created everything,
Yep, I'm not seeing anything else in particular. I mean, of course, everything could be different come down the line, but not seeing anything in specific. So, but one thing I will go ahead and put out there before we wrap up here in a couple minutes. I know we did touch on the fact that there's going to be ComicCon August 4th, 5th, and 6th in Columbus. Let's see. I'll go ahead and see if I can look that up real quick, too. Blah, 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 blah. There you go. Wizard World. That's the name of it. So Wizard World is pretty much a traveling Comic-Con. They hit specific cities every single year. And Columbus is next up on their docket. If you want to check them out, go to wizardworld.com. So what they have for us in Ohio this year is as follows. We got David Tennant, Saturday the 5th. Catherine Tate, Friday and Saturday, who is from Doctor Who, the Catherine Tate Joe in The Office. John Barrowman, who is, of course, from Arrow, Torchwood, and Doctor Who. Excuse me. Got, of course, Kate Beckinsale is going to be actually Saturday and Sunday. Elizabeth Henstridge, who's from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. on Saturday and Sunday. AJ Styles will be there on Friday. Of course, that is the SmackDown United States champion. James Marsters and Nicholas Brendan from Buffy and Slayer will be there. James Marsters will be there Saturday and Sunday. Nicholas Brendan will be there Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Emma Caulfield, also from Buffy, will be there Saturday, Sunday. Holy crap. Lori Petty's going to be there Saturday and Sunday. That's pretty awesome. If we don't know who Lori Petty is, you are missing out. Jody Lynn O'Keefe is going to be there Saturday and Sunday. Michael Beach, Saturday and Sunday. Barry Bostwick, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Monica Rial, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Lou Ferrigno, there you go, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Thomas Ian Nichols, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Jason David Frank, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And that is everyone in specific. There are other special guests. See if I can find anybody who's going to pop off the page. Steve Geiger, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Now, why do they call it? You said it was called WizardCon?
Yeah.
Now, why do they call it that? Is this supposed to be any like a theme or something with that?
No, the Wizard World is essentially like they do their own Comic-Con. Like the one that's going on right now in or basically just wrapping up in San Diego is a different company. And basically what they are is just a little bit I think they're like freelancers, because like the people who run the Wizard World Comic-Cons, like they do the traveling Comic-Con, like they will go to Columbus the 4th, 5th, and 6th. And then the one after that, like I think it's going to be like Chicago, August 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th. Nashville, September 8th, 9th, and 10th. Madison, Wisconsin, September 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. Oklahoma City, October 27th, 28th, 29th. Austin, Texas, November 17th, 18th, and 19th. And then New Orleans, January 5th, 6th, and 7th. Like they essentially do their own thing as opposed to what the San Diego Comic-Con company will do.
Yeah, I was gonna say I wonder if that one guy was from what's the actor name from Doctor Strange? I wonder if he's gonna be in that.
Benedict Cumberbatch?
Yeah.
I'm not sure what he's gonna do.
You like Doctor Strange, didn't you?
Oh yeah. Let's see. Anything else going on? Yeah.
Now, do they sell like a lot of stuff there besides like autograph things there?
Is it autographs, photo ops, and then of course you're going to get different vendors coming in. Artists is mostly what's going to be other guests. Yeah, artists, anchors, creators. You'll have some smaller comic companies coming there to basically mass sell comics. Going to these Comic Cons is a really neat way to catch up on things you might have missed, to be able to discover new series and new companies you never heard of. I think that's one of the best things that Comic-Con does, is that it gives you an opportunity to discover, rediscover, and just get back into something that you might have dropped out of when you were a kid. Now, it's not cheap. It's like $50 a day or something like that, 40, $50 a day. But it's still...
Plus, you got to pay for your room and stuff and all your travel.
Yeah. Now, the one in Columbus is going to be at the Greater Columbus Convention Center, which is downtown Columbus. One thing I'll tell you is this. I love that convention center. Partially because they end up essentially they've changed the layout of the place a little bit. It's directly connected to the Hyatt Regency Hotel, so there's a lot more smaller conference rooms, so they're going to be able to have other panels and stuff there too. The reason why I know a lot about that convention center is that's where they have the Arnold Fitness Expo every year, and the amount of events that they do in that building is insane. You have fencing, you have World's Strongest Man, you have the animal cage. There's just so much. You have karate, one-on-one MMA, grappling contests. It is nuts how many different rooms there are. There's a jump rope competition. There's a lot of stuff going on, and essentially Comic-Con is going to be a lot like that too. And there's going to be a large amount of activity.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of money that gets funneled through all this shit, man.
There is a lot of money that goes into being able to travel with a Comic-Con and being able to kind of peddle your wares, so to speak.
Yeah.
So much so that the Wizard has pumped out a lot of money to promote them, and actually had to cut down on events this past year because of that. Yeah, they used to do like 25 different cities, and now it's cut down to like around 10, I think it is. So.
Wow.
Alrighty, so that is about all for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a little over an hour. So, anything else that you want to plug? I know, of course, I was on the TNT podcast last night. Feel free, go ahead and promote that, sir.
Yeah. Well, it's my YouTube channel is just Ian Adams. And the podcast is the TNT, the Talk News and Trivia podcast. We're on episode 49. Next week is going to be episode 50. Yeah, and Doug comes on there a lot. We like to talk and philosophize or whatever.
Go ahead and give me a link to that, and I'll go ahead and pop it in the description as well. So we'll take care of that.
Okay, we'll have to text it to you on the like in the Hangouts, because I'm on a tablet right now. Can't do that. No, you can't. I don't have access to the chat window.
It's all good. Well, go ahead and drop it in the. Do I still have that up? No, I don't. Boo. Yeah, go ahead and text it to me. I'll go ahead and copy and paste it in. It's all good. So.
Yeah. I also was curious. How's the thing going where you're trying to get some intro music for the show?
I'm gonna be giving them a ring here next couple weeks. There's also some other options too that we have, just to it's generic, so it'll be all good.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say I could, if you want, I could play the music, because I can easily pipe it through my mixer and stuff. Unless if you got a way to play music, because I know you just don't want to play it on your phone or something and just put it next to your microphone. That'd be kind of ghetto.
I don't know about that, but we'll go ahead. We'll cut it off here, ladies and gentlemen. Well, thank you everybody out there for watching. And of course, this is now going to be every Sunday night at 10-ish p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Go for about an hour, maybe an hour and a half. Looking to definitely make this back to the weekly podcast that we all used to know and love, and some people occasionally hate. So definitely going to pull a lot of Walking Dead hate out for this one. But hey, you know what? Don't care. You know why? Because I don't. So until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I, of course, am Aphrodite's Crush. And until next time, good night, goodbye.
Peace.